Noreen here with another episode of The Holidays Are Coming. I've had 4 or 5 people request that I show you how to make an overnight breakfast casserole so that you can make it on Christmas Eve and throw it in the refrigerator, and in the morning just get up and put it in the oven while you're opening presents. More than one person happened to mention that they watched The Family Stone, which is a nice Christmas movie. It has Sarah Jessica Parker in it. And in that movie, there's this really famous scene where she's making this breakfast casserole. It's called a strata. And she's getting it, it's all ready, and she's covered it with aluminum foil, and she's walking to the refrigerator, and then somebody comes through the kitchen door and knocks her over on her butt, and it falls all over the floor. And it's a devastating experience for her. But I've had more than one person request that I show you how to make one. So, this may not be the one that she made in the movie, I don't know. But this is one that I think that you'll enjoy. It is very festive with red and green. And it's nothing more than a baked egg casserole. It's like a savory bread pudding that has some cheese and some ham in it. And I think that you'll really like it. So let's see what goes in this. The first thing that I have done is, this is 12 slices, the better part of a regular sized loaf of French bread that I sliced myself, and then I took 12 slices and I tore them up by hand. I have half of them in the bottom of the pan, half them over here, and you'll see why in a minute. I have a 12-ounce bag of broccoli florets that I stuck in the microwave. Just put a hole in the bag, I put it on a plate, stuck it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then I took it out, I squeezed it out, and I drained it, and it's not all the way heated up, but it's pliable enough that I could squeeze it out. You don't want any excess water. This is one 8-ounce brick of cheddar cheese. It's sharp cheddar cheese. This is Cabot, so you use whatever you want. I have shredded it. It turns out to be about 2.5 cups of cheese. This is one Smithfield's ham steak. They end up being about this big. I took the rind off the outside and cut it up into cubes, and this ends up also being about 2.5 cups. Here, we only have 1% milk, but I also had some heavy cream, so I'm being indulgent. I used a cup of heavy cream and a cup of low-fat milk, which is kind of funny, I know, but you want a rich milk. If you have whole milk, use it. If you have half and half, use half and half milk, or use whatever you have. It'll be fine, no matter what you use. About 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped onion, and about 3 tablespoons, or whatever you like, of chopped red, roasted red pepper. I'm also going to put in a grate of nutmeg, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. So, all we do from here is this. And I'm going to bring you over here. That way Rick can see better what I'm doing. I'm going to take the ham. Oops. Sissy. I dropped a piece. Whoops. Whoops. And I'm going to put the ham in here, layer it in. And this is not rocket science, folks. This is dump and go. I'm going to put the broccoli in. And like I said before, this is really nothing more than a savory bread pudding with some protein and vegetables in it. I'm going to put most of my cheese in here. I'm going to leave that much out. It's probably about 1/2 cup. Maybe I'll leave a little more out. We'll just pick it back out, okay? Y'all can cringe. It's okay. This is my kitchen. I had somebody leave a message on one of my videos just this week, said, don't taste while cooking. It's unsanitary. Well, remind me not to invite you to my house. I would never serve you anything I didn't taste first. Here's 4 eggs. I'm going to beat these up with my whisk. I'm going to add my milk in there. That's my 2 cups of milk. And this is what we're making our custard out of. This is going to soak into that bread. And we're incidentally having this for dinner. I'm going to let this sit for half an hour, and then I'm going to bake it. You can let this sit half an hour, 2 hours, 24 hours. It doesn't matter. It's going to be perfect no matter how you do it. I'm going to put my roasted red peppers in here. And we've got some festive color going on with the red peppers and the green broccoli. I've got my onions going in here. And I have some mustard. I don't know how those people on the Food Network do it, because they have 68 cameras in their studio and I have one Rick. So we're just going to blend that in. The Dijon mustard is going to give this a lovely flavor. And because it is a custard, I do like to add just a couple of grates of nutmeg. I'd say maybe a quarter teaspoon. Whoopsie. Well, there went that nutmeg, huh? Man. There you go. I'm going to have to let that one dry out and maybe just sacrifice it. We'll get all that goodness in there. All right. Give a couple of shakes of Italian seasoning. About a teaspoon, I'd say. There you go. And the same of black pepper. Oh, that's a bunch of noise, isn't it? That's better. Okay. Blend this up really well. Then come back over here. Here's our reserve bread that we stuck out here. We're going to layer this over top of the other. This is going to be beautiful when it comes out of the oven. I'm going to bake it, and we're going to have it for dinner. And that way you can see what it kind of looks like. Now, when you bake yours, you leave yours overnight, which I highly recommend because this is fabulous for Christmas morning. Okay? Now, all right. Now, I'm going to get my hands in here. You're going to think I'm nuts. You want all this bread to touch the egg. So if it doesn't, it's not going to absorb. And I know that you may not like touching this with your hands, and I'm sorry about that. But sometimes this is the only way to do it right. And you can also mix this all up in a big bowl if you want, and then just dump it in the casserole dish. It is not going to make any difference. It's still going to be beautiful and delicious. I think that really looks festive, and it's going to be great. Okay, so I am going to sprinkle the remainder of my cheese. And I'm going to rinse my hands off real quick, and I'm going to do one other thing that I forgot to take out so that you could see it. Ugh. And I'm going to add, if I can find it, where did you go? Here you are. Okay. Parmigiano Reggiano, okay? This is from a specialty deli. I like it when it comes really finely ground, like that. I'm going to sprinkle this over the top. I am going to let this sit now. That's a big old chunk of cheese. We better spread that out. I'm going to let this sit for 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm going to pop it in a 325 degree oven, and I'm going to let it cook for 45 minutes to an hour. When I come back, I'm going to be taking this out of the oven, and you're going to get to see what it looks like. Stay tuned. All right, we're back, and it has been 45 minutes, and look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Now I'm going to show you how to test it to make sure it's done. So let's grab a knife. I'm just going to grab a table knife. And I'm gonna, like in the center here, I'm gonna stick my knife in. That could probably go another 15 minutes. So back in it goes, 15 more minutes. You want the knife to come out clean with very little moisture on it. So I'm gonna keep it in the oven for another 15. And then I'll come back when it's ready to come out. See you soon. All right. We have had another 15 minutes in the oven, and it has become nice and brown. And I believe it should be nice and finished now. Give the test. Oh yeah, it's much firmer. Yeah, this is much better. Okay, we're gonna go with that. Now, what you want to do, you don't want to dig right into it. So you're gonna want to let it sit for like 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and fix you a plate because I know you're hungry and I know you're ready to see what this looks like, so that you can go to the store tomorrow or today and get all the ingredients that you need to make this for Christmas morning. So we'll be back in just a little while. All right, we've let this sit. I actually let this sit like a half an hour because I was busy wrapping presents. But I've cut it. This will serve 6 generous portions. And look at how nicely that comes out of the pan. And look at that. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? You can see all the bread and the eggy, custardy goodness, along with the cheese, the ham, the roasted red peppers, and the broccoli. And the top with the Parmesan cheese has crusted over and gotten crispy, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. Yum. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to get you a fork. And I'm going to say Merry Christmas. That's what's for breakfast. I hope you try this, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope this helps for all those people who asked me to show you how to make an overnight breakfast casserole. A couple of things to go over before I leave you. You can do this first thing in the morning. You don't have to let it sit overnight, but you'll want to let it soak for at least a half an hour. You can do it the night before and leave it in the refrigerator overnight. If you do it overnight, you're going to want to check it at an hour. After it's been in the oven for an hour, you're going to want to check it. If it's too liquidy, give it another 15 minutes and let it sit after it comes out of the oven for at least 15 minutes. That way it solidifies and it gels up nice, and you have this wonderful, delicious meal. So, I hope you try this and I hope you enjoy it, and until next time, Merry Christmas!